All right.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry we took so long coming back. So Shelby,
Yes.
for some of these people who don't know, can you please explain what exactly that it is that you do?
I am a voice actress on the show Steven Universe on Cartoon Network. I play Peridot.
Awesome. How did you get into the business?
I got a book called Word of Mouth at a library because I wanted to get into voiceovers. And my brain kind of works more. I need to read things and I need to kind of structure it out for myself, like how to train, what to do, like basically like voiceover 101. So then I called the author of the book. I opened up the book and I saw the number and I was like, "Hi, my name's Shelby. I just picked up your book and I was interested if you taught voiceover class." And Sue Blue was like, "Actually, yes, I do." So then I started training with her for about over a year and a half. And then I got my voiceover reel together. I worked on getting a bunch of characters together, like 6 to 12 characters. And then I recorded a reel, had a reel professionally done, and then I started submitting to voiceover agents. And then I got signed with an agent that then dropped me. And then I booked Steven Universe, and then I got with another agent. So just get a lot of no's until that one yes.
It's a constant grind. Yeah.
Yeah, constant. Yeah, definitely.
The floor is open for questions now.
A big hustle.
Cassandra Olivia on South Network. What about Steven Universe popped off the script for you? Why did it draw you in?
I was attracted to that script because it was the first time I've seen a cartoon with really, really strong women, like female characters, like kick-ass characters. And Steven was this character that I just fell in love with. He wasn't victim-y. It wasn't like, oh, poor Steven, without a mom and just a dad. I like that he was just really genuine and authentic and loving, and that the relationships with him and the gems were just very truthful, and each gem kind of had a role to play in Steven's life without him being victim-y. And that's what I really, really liked. And it was a very, very unique script.
I have a question myself.
Sure.
What parts of you do you see in your character that you play? Peridot?
Peridot, yeah. I think the quirkiness of Peridot is definitely Shelby. I think there's parts of my humor that are definitely injected into her. I definitely can censor myself more so than Peridot, though. I don't have as many emotional outbursts outwardly. I might have them inwardly, but I don't show them. Peridot definitely shows them on her sleeve.
Do you ever have any of those cringe moments? Do you ever watch the show and you're like, oh, I can't look at myself right now? Because I know as an actor as well, sometimes you get those things on stage or when you're recorded, you're like, oh, well, I can't believe I did that. I can't look right now. I'm so embarrassed.
An embarrassment thing for me, I'm actually never embarrassed.
Never, really?
No, I don't know what it is because I think while I'm doing it, I think the weirder the better, actually.
Really?
I like playing roles on screen and off screen or voices. And a lot of the on-screen stuff that I really enjoy playing. I mean, I've played a law associate on Goliath on Amazon, and that was really fun. That was a really nice, straight-laced law associate, with Billy Bob Thornton and William Hurt, and I'm sitting there, and it was actually the most normal I've ever played on screen, and it was really fun. But still, I was very, aware of my character choices. But I played another character named Heidi on YouTube Red with Rhea Perlman and Ava Gutowski. And Heidi's way out there. And I actually find I really like to stretch the physical comedy, the comedy when I'm not saying anything, the silent comedy. I'm a huge fan of I Love Lucy, Mr. Bean. I really enjoy physical comedy. So kind of the weirder the better for me. So I'm actually never really embarrassed about work that I see. I don't know if that's weird.
No, it's not weird. Maybe it's some of my insecurities as an actor.
Oh, hey, listen, we all have them. With Peridot, I love my little snorts. I'm like, oh, they added that weird snort in. That's awesome.
I only say that because watching your character, sometimes I get embarrassed for the character. And so,
yeah, totally.
Some of those awkward situations where it's no, you just don't get the situation right now.
You're yeah. Like, never mind.
Awesome. Questions.
Charles from Inspired Reviews.
Hi.
Curious what your experiences were like on League of Extraordinary Dancers.
Oh my gosh, I love it when people ask me about that. I loved playing the Dark Nurse / Bella on League of Extraordinary Dancers. I just saw John Chu, the director of it, creator essentially, and we were reminiscing about that. That was so many years ago, and it was really amazing to play a part in a series where dancers were superheroes. Like if that was made a comic, I think that I think we already have like a big fandom, or you know, the people that do know about the League of Extraordinary Dancers, I think they're fans of it. But I would love it to come back. I think it in a comic book form would be really, really cool to see, and the experience was just like a dream come true. Not only did I get to dance, which is like my first love, but I got to work with so many amazing dancers, like the best in the world in my opinion. You know, break dancers, animatronic dancers like Mad Chad. I mean, Kid David, Casper, Luigi, Skills. Like, I mean, the amount of like breakers we used, and like not only were we using ballerinas, you know, people like street dancers, there were, you know, ballroom dancers. So it was just like a dream come true to be like, whoa, this mythology exists with using dancers that aren't like just dancers. So it was an amazing experience. Mm-hmm.
More questions?
Hi, I'm Nia from WrestleBuzz _ on Instagram.
Awesome.
So I have two questions for you. How do you feel the Steven Universe has affected the LGBTQA community? And how do you feel like doing these conventions, and like how do you feel like the fans have affected you?
Oh my gosh, well, to answer your first question first, before I go off on a tangent, I think what Rebecca Sugar and the Steven Universe has been able to do, as far as representation on a animated show, has been really groundbreaking for the LGBTQIA community. Just, I think representation is so important. These cartoons or animated shows, they're not only just for children, but because I think children watch them, I think our demographic starts at like 6 years old. I think it's important that this younger generation is seeing representation on screen, because in a way, whether or not they're like, oh, that is it's not necessarily like that's a, you know, ruby and sapphire. Those are two gems that love each other, that have a genuine, truthful relationship. And I think at a young age, when you're exposed to that, as you're growing up, you can understand those relationships versus being bullied if you are gay, if you are a part of that LGBTQIA community. They can always revert back to being like, no, well, I see Ruby and Sapphire on screen, so it's not weird, and I'm not going to feel like the other, and it's not wrong. So I feel very proud to be on a show like Steven Universe that has that representation on screen, and then also to be a part of such a diverse cast. It's my first experience being in a recording booth. You know, I haven't done that many voiceovers, but even just on set, as I like to call it, in the booth on set. And having so many people from so many diverse ethnic backgrounds, and from just all over. I no longer feel like the other when I'm working on Steven Universe. On other jobs I do. I'm like, oh, I'm the only, you know, Pacific Islander, Asian American here. Great. You know, and it's now weird for me to walk into a situation where I am the other. It's weird now that I've been on Steven Universe for for you know, a couple seasons. It's normal to me, and that's what I'm most excited about. I'm like, nobody's the other here, and that's awesome. It's the first time I think I've ever said that in my professional career, actually. As far as being at cons, I love it. I think meeting the fans, for me, it makes it real. You know, I get a bunch of social media messages, which are so sweet, and I like see all the fan art, and it makes my heart like swell up. Like, I just feel so special and honored, and hearing people's stories about how Steven Universe has really helped them in their lives, and like stay strong through, you know, whether it be depression or a relationship. Actually physically seeing these people and looking at them in their eyes, it's really special for me, because sometimes I just think, as an actress, a voiceover actress, you're like, okay, cool, I'm doing something, I'm trying to do my best. But then when you're meeting the fans and it crosses that line of something really personal to them, it makes it personal for me. So I love these cons. It's great.
Awesome. Yes, you.
Doug Engler from Animazing Radio. been some of your inspirations to help you get into acting and voice acting?
Oh my goodness. I have so many. As far as, let's see, well, I love Lucille Ball. I'll always go back to her. Because at a young age, I would always watch I Love Lucy and then MacGyver with my grandparents. And they moved from the Philippines, and so I think a lot of Lucille Ball's physical comedy was like so new to them to see that on television. And just her little nuances, her timing is just like impeccable. Impeccable. As far as female directors go, I'm a huge fan of Ava DuVernay. I am starting my own screenwriting path myself, and so I actually look to her for a lot of inspiration and taking a chance on women of color and females behind the camera. So she's one of my people I really, really look up to. Sue Blue, who I trained with, she was the voice of the Pillsbury Doughboy back in the day. She was my teacher for voiceovers, and she kind of instilled in me that I can do it. Because, a lot of insecurities, like you were talking about, you don't know if you're good enough ever. And so sometimes it just takes this one person to say, hey, you actually really have talent. I think you should just keep going. And so you're kind of like, all right, let's do it. So yeah, and I've had a lot of acting teachers and a lot of my friends who are in the business. Obviously, my husband really, really inspired me to keep going. He's like my number one cheerleader. So if people like that didn't exist, I don't think I'd be here and doing what I'm doing. So shout out to all of them.
Is there any work that you have coming up, or any roles that you have, or that you're about to do that you're really excited for?
Well, my YouTube Red Show just came out in March, and so it's still going. Unfortunately, we didn't get a season 2, but the episodes are out there, and I think they're really, really funny. I loved working with Rhea Perlman. And the character that I play is super quirky. She's really sarcastic. She's a little bit like along the lines of Janine Garofalo, which was new for me to play. So I'm excited for people to see that show if you guys are interested. It's on YouTube Red and also Google Play. And there's 6 episodes, and it's called Me and My Grandma. I play Heidi, and she's awesome. I actually, people don't realize it's me until they look my name up on the credits, because I look really different. My hair's up in all these like crazy buns. I'm wearing glasses. I'm like really accessorized. I got to pick my outfits a lot with a costume designer. So she's very different than, again, it's a part of Shelby, but it's not like Shelby that you see every day. So yeah, that's a project I have coming out, and hopefully you'll see some other things with me in it as far as writing goes.
Actually, my next question, you mentioned screenwriting. What is it? What kind of genre do you hope to write for?
Right now, I'm working on a biopic. It includes stories that just happen to be from female dancers. It's not about them being dancers. It's just almost like, movies have so much more about the main protagonist other than them just being one aspect. And I feel like a lot of the dance stories that I've seen about female dancers have just been about them being dancers. I'm delving more into the backstory of.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, of like me myself being a dancer. What it was like growing up being a dancer. I mean, it's hard. It's tough being a dancer. Like I grew up doing ballet. It's not easy, and I want to kind of open up and share my point of view as far as what that was like.
Okay.
For right now, but I'm also interested in so many other stories I want to tell. But right now, that's what I'm focusing my screenplay on.
Screenwriting. Have you ever considered directing? Maybe.
Oh yes.
Yes,
I'm actually interested in getting. I'm applying to a bunch of programs for diversity in directing. Film Independent, Sundance. I applied to the Sundance screenwriting lab, and hopefully that works out. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'll keep trying.
It's hard to get into,
Yeah, it's hard to get into, and you just got to keep going, never give up. Right. So yeah, I'd love to direct. That's ultimately what I would love to do.
Same.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm trying. Yeah. Questions?
Charles again.
Hi, Charles again.
I'm curious, as a dancer, do you wish that your character Peridot
Absolutely. She's done a little bit of like, little movements here and there. I would love to see Peridot like bust out in like a breakdancing sort of thing, or like I feel like she's definitely more of like the hip hop. Pearl's more of the balletic one. I've gotten to choreograph a scene for Steven Universe. It's actually coming out in the art book this summer, I think. I choreographed Greg and Pearl's dance for Mr. Greg in that episode. So that was really cool because I recorded it at home, and then I had Harry, my husband, dance with me. I was like, can you do this part with me? And then they animated using that video. So in the art book, they kind of break it down, I think, with all of our pictures, and that's how they animated the dance between Greg and Pearl. Yeah. Yeah, so I'd love to dance more. Oh, and I also Foleyed when Steven and Steve. Who calls Steven Steve? Steve. When Steven tap dances with Pearl, that's actually my tap dancing. So I got to Foley. Yeah, I went into the Foley studio and choreographed it, and then they mic'd me up, and then it was so cool. And then when I heard it, I was like, well, I've always wanted to do that. I love Happy Feet, and I had some friends that worked on Happy Feet, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome that you got to do that. And now I could say that I got to Foley tap sounds. Yeah.
Awesome. How's it working with like the? I know you might have touched on this. Working with like just the other cast, the voice actors. Do they inspire you at all?
Oh, absolutely. We're all friends outside. People. I got a lot of questions yesterday at the panel. Are you guys friends outside the show? I'm like, oh yeah. Like after cons, like we did LA Anime Expo in LA last weekend, and we all went to Little Tokyo to grab lunch afterwards, and we ended up spending like the whole day together. So yeah. The whole cast is super talented. Like,
yeah.
We definitely push each other in the booth. It's not like, okay, like, do that one again. It's more like we hear them do it and we're giggling. Like, half of the time we're having to cover our mouth because we're cracking up so hard. Like, especially Michaela, like, her noises are amazing.
She was in here just before you were, by the way.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she
okay,
was,
so you
yeah.
guys get it.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. And, like, Dee Dee and Jen and obviously Zach. They're all so talented. I just feel honored to be on a show with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that you're Peridot, is there any characters that you would like? Well, of course you wouldn't want to take it away from them, but like, let's say if there's another character you would want to be on the show, who would it be, and who would you want to voice? And how would you do it? Yeah, on the show. Yeah.
Oh, on the show. Okay. Well, I'm like really feeling Aquamarine right now.
Really?
I love her. I love Aquamarine. Like, every time I watch an episode and she's in it, I'm like, she's awesome. I was like, oh, man, she's so cool. I'd love to voice her. I don't think I could do as good of a job as her person does, but I think that's one that I would want to give like a...
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Try, maybe.
All right. We have time for one more question.
With being in the voice acting, I've talked to a lot of voice actors from Funimation, Sentai Film Arts, and I know the difference between their booths. What's it like to be in the booth for Steven Universe? Is there a lot of joking around? Do you leave practical jokes for the other cast members like they do at some of the anime studios?
We haven't done practical jokes, but that kind of plants a seed in my head. I think I might start doing that. I think that'd be really funny. For our scheduling wise, they have to pack so much in, so we're actually layered. When I come in, like if Michaela and Steven, Zach is in there at 9, I'll come in at like 10:15, and sometimes I just have like one pickup line, so sometimes it's so quick. They have to like get me in the booth, and then Rebecca and Kent Osborne, our voice director, along with Rebecca, they're kind of breaking down what's going on within the scene, and then they're like, and go, because they're trying to get so much done. There's so much overlap. So it's mostly in the green room that we're chit-chatting. When we're in the booth, we like to fool around a little bit, but we know time is of the essence. So we get back to work, but I'm going to start doing practical jokes on them. I think they're going to start hating me. I'm going to
No one could ever hate you.
Come on.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm so sorry. We have to cut it short. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh
We
my gosh,
appreciate
thanks so
your
much for
time. Yeah.
having me.
Where can they find you today at the con? Are you still going to be here? You have a panel or two? Or?
Yes, I have a signing from, I'll be there from noon to 3, so come by, stop by. I'm by the video games and like all the garage band.
Yeah, garage band. All right.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
for the people singing. Hope to
All right,
see
thank
you
you
guys.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We will be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.